sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
All right, so you brought a whole stack of articles this time, and wow, this one, it's the Champions League knockout stage. Atletico Madrid versus Real Madrid.
Yeah, and Real Madrid won the first leg 2-1. So Atletico needs a win here to move on.
Huge stakes.
Huge stakes. It's a Madrid derby. You know, you can't get much higher than that.
Oh, absolutely. And just glancing through these articles, it looks like we've got a lot to unpack here.
Yeah. I mean, looking at these articles, what really stands out to me is just how this game kind of exemplifies like the constant sort of tension in football between tactics, you know, and individual brilliance.
Oh, yeah.
And then, yeah, the ever-present technology, you know, in the form of VAR.
Well, I am ready for some VAR drama for sure. And it looks like we've got that plus like a record-breaking goal in the first minute.
Yeah.
A penalty miss. I mean,
unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, this one's got it all.
Let's start with the atmosphere at the Metropolitano.
Okay.
The articles all describe it as electric. Like the crowd itself was another player on the pitch for Atletico.
Yeah, they needed that win to advance, and you could bet that the fans were letting Real Madrid know it.
And then, boom, just 27 seconds into the match, Conor Gallagher puts one in the back of the net for Atletico.
Fastest goal of the season.
Fastest goal of the season.
Wow, what a way to set the tone.
What a way to kick things off.
Yeah, and it sounds like Real Madrid could have easily folded under that kind of pressure, but their goalkeeper, Thibaut Courtois, had other plans.
He was immense. Absolutely immense. He shut down two fantastic attempts from Julian Alvarez in the first half.
Oh, wow.
And honestly, without him, who knows what the scoreline could have been going into halftime.
Yeah, those early saves really feel like a turning point. Did Real Madrid change up their tactics after that initial shock, or was it just Courtois just single-handedly keeping them in it?
That's a great question. I mean, Real Madrid's star trio, Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., and Bellingham, they were surprisingly quiet in that first half. And Atletico's defense was incredibly disciplined, shutting down passing lanes and really frustrating those attackers.
Okay, so it sounds like Atletico really came in with a game plan, like they had a strategy to neutralize those guys.
Yeah, you have to wonder if that was a very deliberate part of their approach.
So going into halftime, even though Real Madrid was still very much in the game, it feels like Atletico was controlling the tempo.
Yeah, Atletico was winning the tactical battle for sure, and you could sense the frustration building for Real Madrid.
All right, well, hold on to your hats, because the second half is where things get even more interesting. Early on, Mbappe draws a penalty.
Which, for some reason, Vinicius Jr. steps up to take, and let's just say it wasn't his best effort.
Oh, no.
The ball sailed over the bar, and you could practically hear the collective groan from Real Madrid fans across the globe.
Now, I got to ask, was that miss just a fluke, or was there more to it? Was the pressure just too much?
It's hard to say for sure, but you got to factor in the incredible pressure of that moment, you know? Yeah. Missing a penalty in a match like this, especially when your team is already trailing, it can really get inside your head.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know, and
it almost feels like that miss swung the momentum back in Atletico's favor, just talk about an emotional roller coaster for both sides.
Absolutely. It injected even more tension into the match, and you could feel both teams just digging deep as they headed into extra time.
So both teams are battling it out. Fatigue is setting in, but neither side is willing to give an inch. And then comes the moment that has everyone talking. Julian Alvarez scores what looks like an incredible goal during the penalty shootout. But wait, what's happening?
Here comes VAR.
Oh, boy.
And let me tell you, this is where the controversy really begins.
Okay, break it down for us. What went down?
Alvarez gets the ball slips, but manages to regain his footing just enough to get a shot off.
Okay.
The ball goes in, and for a moment, it looks like Atletico has snatched victory from the jaws of defeat.
I bet.
But then the referee signals for a VAR review.
Ah, you can practically hear the entire stadium holding its breath.
So during the review, they're looking specifically at whether Alvarez double-touched the ball. And this is where things get tricky. Some angles seem to show the ball grazing his planted foot twice, but other angles are less conclusive.
So what was the final verdict? Did they allow the goal?
After what felt like an eternity, the referee signals no goal.
Oh, wow.
The double touch, according to VAR, was enough to disallow it.
Talk about a deflating moment for Atletico.
It was absolutely heartbreaking for them, and the controversy surrounding this decision is something we need to unpack further.
Yeah.
It really exemplifies the complex debate surrounding VAR and its impact on the beautiful game.
I can't even imagine, what was going through the minds of Atletico's players and fans in that moment. They were this close to winning, only to have it taken away like that.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, the emotional roller coaster is a huge part of football, and VAR seems to just amplify those swings even more. Right. In this case, it wasn't just about whether the call was technically correct. It was about the impact on the narrative of the game itself, you know?
It's like you're watching this incredible story unfold, a player overcoming a slip to score what could be the winning goal. And then suddenly it's just gone. Like it feels almost anticlimactic, even if the decision was the right one.
Right. And that's where the conversation about VAR gets really interesting. It was brought in to increase fairness and reduce human error. But at what cost are we sacrificing some of the spontaneous magic of the game, in pursuit of absolute accuracy?
It does raise a lot of questions about the role of technology in football.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the idea of getting the calls right. But I also miss those moments where you'd be arguing about a controversial decision with your friends for weeks.
Yeah.
There was a certain charm to that uncertainty.
There definitely was, and it's interesting to see how this match reflects that broader tension in football. On one hand, you have the tactical battle, the managers trying to outsmart each other.
Yeah.
But on the other, you have moments of pure individual brilliance, like Courtois' saves, that can just change the entire course of a game.
It's almost like this push and pull between these forces.
Yeah.
Like the meticulously planned strategies, the raw talent of individual players, and then this layer of technology that's constantly being analyzed and debated.
Exactly. And in this particular match, all those forces came together in a really dramatic way.
For sure.
So even though Atletico ultimately lost, what can they take away from this game? I mean, they were for large portions the dominant side.
Well, their defense was rock solid, especially against a team like Real Madrid with so much attacking firepower. I mean, they showed incredible discipline and resilience.
Absolutely. They frustrated Real Madrid's star players and really limited their chances moving forward. They need to figure out how to turn those strong defensive performances into more consistent goal-scoring opportunities.
It feels like if they can find that balance, they could be a real threat to any team in the world.
Now, on the flip side, what does this match tell us about Real Madrid? I mean, they didn't have their best performance, but they still found a way to win.
They've got that championship pedigree, that ability to grind out a result even when things aren't going their way. Plus, having a goalkeeper like Courtois is a huge advantage.
Yeah.
He practically won them the game single-handedly in those early stages.
No doubt. But they can't rely on individual brilliance and a bit of luck forever. Their attack needs to find its rhythm again. Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., and Bellingham, they need to be firing on all cylinders if Real Madrid wants to make a serious run in this tournament.
I'm curious, do you think that missed penalty will have a lasting impact on Vinicius Jr.?
That's a fascinating question. The mental side of football is just as important as the physical. He's a young player, and moments like that can either make or break you.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how he bounces back from this.
So Real Madrid scrapes by, but they've got a tough challenge ahead against Arsenal. This match was a wake-up call for them.
And as for Atletico, despite the heartbreak, they can hold their heads high. They prove they can compete with the best, and that bodes well for their future.
This whole deep dive has really been eye-opening.
Yeah.
It shines a light on those big, complex questions we always grapple with in football. Like, how much should we rely on technology? How do we balance individual talent with team tactics? And what makes a team truly great?
This match, with all its twists and turns, gives us a lot to think about.
Yeah.
But it's exactly these kinds of discussions that make football so captivating.
Yeah, it really is amazing how, one match can just spark all these different conversations about the sport as a whole. And we're talking tactics, technology, the mental game, individual brilliance. I mean, it's all connected.
Yeah, it's all intertwined. And that's what makes football so compelling. It's not just about what happens on the pitch. It's about the human stories. Conor Gallagher scoring that lightning fast goal, Thibaut Courtois making those incredible saves. These moments become part of the larger narrative,
And we can, analyze tactics all day long, but you can't deny the impact of those individual performances. And even though his goal was disallowed, you have to admire Julian Alvarez's just sheer determination in that moment. I mean, talk about adding to the drama.
Absolutely. I mean, those are the moments that fans remember, the moments that spark debate and keep us talking about the game long after the final whistle blows.
It does make you wonder, though, what was going through Alvarez's mind when that goal was taken away, to be so close to victory only to have it snatched away by a VAR decision.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be a tough pill to swallow.
It is. And the mental fortitude of these athletes is often overlooked. They're under immense pressure scrutiny from fans and media, and split-second decisions can have a huge impact on their careers.
It's a good reminder that, these are real people out there, not just robots executing plays.
Yeah.
They have emotions, they make mistakes, and they have to deal with the consequences.
Yeah, and as we continue to, integrate technology into the game, I think it's crucial to keep that human element in mind. VAR can be a valuable tool for accuracy, but we have to be careful not to let it overshadow the spirit of the game.
Well, this deep dive has been a wild ride. We've gone from record-breaking goals to controversial VAR decisions to some, pretty deep reflections on the state of the game. It's given us a lot to ponder.
It really has. I mean, this Atletico Madrid versus Real Madrid clash, it was like a microcosm of all the bigger conversations happening in football right now.
So for our listeners, as you watch future matches, I encourage you to really think critically about what you're seeing. Pay attention to the impact of technology, the brilliance of individual players, the tactical battles unfolding on the pitch, and most importantly, enjoy the ride.
Football is a sport full of passion and drama and endless debate, and that's what makes it so captivating.
This has been another deep dive. Thanks for listening.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.